Hey everybody, and welcome to my N5 series on the SP404 Mark II, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. TV over on the Gearspace forums in the SP404 Mark II forum asked two really good questions. One is, can you trigger an SP404 Mark II pad chromatically without being in chromatic mode from an external MIDI sequencer? And yes, and I'll show you how to do that. And the next question is, does the SP404 Mark II send pad trigger with chromatic data? And the answer is also yes to this. Let me just switch views so you can see the whole MPC here and SP404 Mark II. So I've just got a default empty track, and I've got my MIDI out on A, hooked up with TRS MIDI from the MIDI Type B cables from the SP404 Mark II into the MPC. So what we want to do is we're just going to create a new track. We're going to go MIDI, and I just need to set this to MIDI port A because I have MPC A going out to the SP404 Mark II. So with that, I should be able to just start sending audio over. Let me just make sure I got monitoring on already. So I'm able to hit notes. The reason why it's skipping here is because I'm currently in notes mode. We can move to chromatic and you'll see the same thing. Go up one page. So I'm able to trigger MIDI from the MPC over to the SP404 Mark II. Now, to send notes to play chromatically, we got to go dial in 16. And a couple things to note. One, it's by default picking A1 is in the chromatic slot. And a thing that you'll understand is that you have to flip into, you have to basically whatever the last note you selected or played. So if I play this note, we're having this, because it's basically, I create a MIDI loop. I have the output and input going crosswise, so it was just re-triggering. Anyway, excuse me. So if I play this note, it's still gonna, by default, if I go back to 16, play the first one. To get it to actually load, basically load the sample or make the sample be able to be used in chromatic mode, whatever the last note you played is, that you just have to go into chromatic mode. You don't have to play anything here, but you'll see here. Oops, I got to switch over to, must be at the top, but you can see I can play that pad chromatically, and it tells us which one it's playing, which is A4. So the important part to understand is whatever note you play, the last note you played, when you go into chromatic mode is what's going to be picked up. If you want to have something be picked up without triggering it, just hold down enter, and then we can take like the snare, I just tap it, and then we just enter chromatic mode, and now I can play it chromatically. So yeah, TV, if you're looking to do this, that's just a few notes for you, but yes, you absolutely can do it. As to your second question, which is, does the SP404 Mark II send pad trigger with chromatic data from MIDI out? It does, and you can see it was just doing it. But you can turn this off. Basically, it's just a setting. If you hold Shift Pad 13, go into the System menu, go to the MIDI. If you go to Pad Note Out, if you turn that off, it won't. It's just sending the MIDI data or the pad events to itself. It's not sending it out. So if you do want to send MIDI data, well, I just turned it off. So if I go back into chromatic mode, you can see here it's not sending anything. But if I come in, Shift Pad 13 and turn Pad Note Out back on, and we go into chromatic, you can see it's sending it. I'm getting a weird feedback issue because we're sending it and then it's sending it back to itself. So if I went back to like Pad 1, you can see that it's now sending it to the stuff that's over there. Anyway, I just have a MIDI loop issue set up. Depending on how you set things up for yourself, you may not have that problem. That said, the answer is yes to both your questions, TV, and I hope that helps you out. Everybody, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good, and peace.